Hello beautiful dancer, welcome to this new video. I'm Lamia Barbara, I am a professional dancer and teacher from Italy, and I am pretty excited and also a little bit emotional about today's video because I'm gonna be sharing a little bit of me and of my story on how I met Indian dance and specifically how this became Indian fusion in my life and how this completely changed everything in my whole life. So to start, I'm gonna say that when I met Indian dance, I was already a dancer. I was already a fusion belly dancer. But the reason why I started fusion belly dance in the first place was because I wanted to reconnect with myself again. During my childhood and in my younger years, I went through a lot emotionally. I went through a lot of problems in my family and toxic relationships and behaviors. And dance in my life came to really heal me from all of this and to bring this new identity, this new strength, this new power that I was missing completely. So dance, and specifically fusion belly dance, when I met this amazing dance style, for me it was a source of reconnection with my body, with myself, with my emotions. And I also have to say that when I started this journey in fusion belly dance, I was 18 years old, and in parallel, I started my journey in yoga. And that's because for me, in my personal experience, these two ways of moving the body and these two art forms cannot be separated. They are very connected, for me at least in my journey. Because on one side, yoga gave me the opportunity to really embody all of the movements and to connect with my emotions and with something which is greater than me. So it's not only about me and my body and my emotions, but really something which is beyond. And this for me is the whole path of yoga. And on the other side, dance, for me it's kind of the same, basically. It's really not that disconnected from what I just said, but it adds something which is magical. It adds music and rhythm and skills and artistry, and it's such a never-ending journey of learning and sinking into beauty. And you know, these two for me are so connected. So when I met my Indian dance teacher, I was, I think, probably around 22 or 23 years old. I can't remember properly, sorry. But I still remember I was at a festival here in Sicily, and my Indian dance teacher, her name is Nuria Salagrao. She's from Barcelona, but she lives in Italy, in Milan. So she was here for a workshop, and I remember that I entered her class because I was in that phase of my life where I wanted to gain as much inspiration as I could as a fusion belly dancer, so I was studying everything. I was studying hip-hop, contemporary dance, theater dance, ballet. So I entered her class with this hunger for more movement and inspiration to keep going with this never-ending research. But what I found there was even more than I could expect. Indian dance was like a lightning to me in my life. It was really like shocking in a good way, in a positive sense, because everything I experienced in that class was just amazing. Again, the rhythm, the connection of the body, the strong connection of the body with the music, and the beauty of the geometry of the body, and the deep embodiment of all the possibility of the limbs. All of this was just crazy to me. And of course, I fell in love with my Indian dance teacher, Nuria, immediately. And I think it was only 2 weeks later that I applied for the Conservatory of Indian Dance and Music here in Italy, in Vicenza. And that's when my journey in Indian dance started. I already knew about Indian dances through other dance styles, through Odissi, a little bit of Kathak, but I never encountered Bharatanatyam, which is the dance style that I specialized in with my Indian dance teacher and my studies at the conservatory. I've never met it before meeting Nuria. So this is how my journey started. And this is when I realized that these two coins, these two, let's say, phases of the coin that I just said about before, so the yoga on one side and the dance on the other side, in Indian classical dance, they are together. They're like really two faces of the same coin, because all art forms in India aim to yoga, yoga meaning union of our, let's say, separate single self with the cosmic self, with something, as I said, which is beyond, the greater cosmos, the greater spirit, how you want to call it. And this for me in Indian classical dance is so deeply into the texture of dance that it's just so beautiful. And as I said, it's really a never-ending journey. It really changed everything in the way, not only that I see dance, but I see life itself. Everything is of pure beauty and of pure rhythmical patterns. It's just amazing. I love this dance style so much. So I'm sorry I cannot express it even more with words. And then what happened is when I graduated, and actually when I was already going through the process of graduating at the conservatory, my body, when I was doing fusion belly dance, because I was, as I said, already a fusion belly dancer, and I was doing it professionally. I was already teaching and I was performing all around the world. So when I was practicing my fusion belly dance, of course I already had my yoga practice and my yoga studies and the philosophy, because that's where I think I always say we don't want to dance from moves, we want to dance from concepts. So we really want to get into the philosophy behind the movements, the history and the culture. But after I started my Indian classical dance studies, I felt this huge shift in my fusion belly dance practice as well, because my body started to integrate all those philosophy concepts, movements, ideas, so very naturally and organically. I could see that my body was moving differently. So that's when I started to practice, like discovering my practice day by day and discovering how my body and my fusion belly dance was, again, organically integrating Indian dance philosophy and practices inside fusion belly dance. And that's where I started to experiment that with my students and with myself on stage. And that's when I started to present it as Indian fusion belly dance. And that's why I call this dance style still nowadays Indian fusion belly dance. Because again, it's the soulful integration, the soulful fusion of fusion belly dance on one side, which is a dance style on its own, and I want to do a video about what is fusion belly dance, because this is one of the biggest questions that I receive so often when I, meet new people and they ask me, what do you do? And I say, fusion belly dance. They're like, what? So if you want for me to do the video, comment down below. Let me know if you're interested. It might be a topic that you like. So again, Indian fusion belly dance is this connection, this soulful fusion of fusion belly dance and Indian classical dance. But what I mean with soulful for me means something which is creative and inspiring and thriving, but at the same time with a lot of respect and knowledge and love for the cultures we are taking inspiration from. So you have creativity and respect, that they have to go hand to hand when you're doing any kind of fusion, and specifically when you're doing Fusion Bellydance and Indian Fusion Bellydance. So yeah, this is my story, and I also just want to add a little, again, emotional part of it, which is when I first went to India, because I went to India several times after I started my journey in Indian dance, and every time I landed in India, I had the same experience that I had the first time, which is every time the airplane lands, I start to cry. And it's something I cannot hold, like it's my body, which is just releasing these beautiful emotions, but it's not a sad cry. I could relate this to one of my conservatory teachers, my Indian dance Drupad conservatory teacher, which once said that when you are dancing or you are singing and you start crying, it's not because of sadness or joy, but it's something which is beyond. And again, this is not, the tears that I experienced every time I landed in India were not sadness, were not joy, it was something which is beyond. It's a third kind of emotion. And to me, the feeling that I got every time was, I am back home. So yeah, this is truly magical, and I don't know if you believe in past lives or any kind of explanation for this, but really anytime, every time I land in India, every time I am in India, I feel like a part of me, at least a part of me, is back home. So this is why all of my life has changed after I started my dance studies, my Indian dance studies. And of course, all of my teaching life has changed, because all that I gathered in all these years of learning deeply this art form is so precious that I cannot keep it from myself. Really, I can't. And that's why I created a system that I, again, named Indian Fusion Bellydance. Of course, this is not like my copyright. There are many beautiful dancers around the world. They use this name for this dance style, which is the connection of Fusion Bellydance and Indian dance. But I created a kind of my method on how to integrate these beautiful dance styles together and really to pass this amazing treasure to my students, because it's just invaluable. All of the knowledge, all of the transformation that you get from these dance styles is incredible. And I think this is the main reason of why I do what I do. Everything in my dance life is because of that, because I want to be transmitting all of this beauty to you. And this is also why I created my Indian Fusion online program, which is my signature program. I love this dance baby so much, and the more I offer this program to my students, the more I gather so many testimonials and so many feedbacks from them, and I truly understand how transformational and how deep this kind of work can be. Because you will have, I've put everything, all of me, the whole of me, technically, culturally, in the knowledge, in the inspiration, all of me, it's there. And you get the technique, the detailed technique, but you also get the cultural lectures and in-depth knowledge. You get all of the practices of mudras and drishti, all of the eyes and gaze. You get combos, you get choreographies, but not only, you also get mindset work. It's really, everything is like packed and so refined. I put so much love in this offer, truly, because again, this is where all of that preciousness I wanted to put all of that preciousness that changed my life completely and put it in a way which is a method for you. So yeah, this is the reason why I created this beautiful, beautiful Indian Fusion online program. And this is also the reason why I am opening doors to my Indian Fusion online program, because I only open doors a few times a year with a special discounted price, and the doors are now open. So if you feel this call, if this journey that I talked about, the transformation that you could feel beyond my words, if you could feel all of that, then if you hear the call, let's say, the doors are now open with a special discounted price, and don't miss this opportunity. I would really love to work with you and to bring this lovable, incredible, amazing transformation in your life as well. So if you're interested, you will find all of the details in the show notes. And if you would love to ask me anything about it, if you would love to connect even further about these topics, send me a DM on Instagram. I love to connect with dancers, beautiful dancers all around the world that are passionate about Fusion Bellydance and Indian Fusion Bellydance. And thank you so much for being with me today. I'm sending you big love, mwah, and see you next week.